Yeah, good morning, everyone. Sorry, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible and everyone could see my screen here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So where are we, guys? I think in the last class, we were looking into the ESS priorities. Okay, so we understood like what is the default priority order browser is following while applying the CSS to the particular HTML element. And that too, if we give the same CSS property with the using all the 4 different ways, how it is taking the priority. And we have even seen how do we override the default priority order using exclamatory mark important, right? So that is what we have seen in the last class. So hope everybody got a chance to practice it and no one is having any questions, right? Okay. So today, let us go into some more tags, guys. Okay. Let us explore some of the tags. Make it as IMG and A tags. Guys, if you're not talking, please go into mute. Okay, and one thing, guys, good to see that a lot of people have submitted the assignments, and I have already reviewed back to you guys. So good to see that everyone is following the coding guidelines strictly, and everyone could able to attempt it. But I think like only 60% of the people have submitted the assignments. So I want everyone to do that, guys. I know it's a simple one, but still try to make a habit of solving the assignment so that we get habituated for the other assignments what we are going to look into. Okay, and the very common, common thing what you guys missing is coding indentation, guys. Okay, so make sure you really strictly follow them. Okay,
Sir,
hope everybody know what do you mean by coding indentation. We already talked about how do we align the tags in an order so that it is easy for us to understand what is the parent, what is the children, and the content, etc. And other common mistake what I see from you guys is some people are still following the inline CSS. So as much early as possible, try to avoid it. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, sorry, guys. So as much as by avoiding the inline CSS, only go with the class-based CSS. Okay. And another thing, what you guys are missing is when you are giving the class names, someone is giving like A, B, C, J, Q. I mean, that is completely irrelevant. It works. I mean, browser doesn't ask for that, but it is always recommended to go with the self-descriptive class names. Okay, so try to do that. So those are the common mistakes. So please make sure at least from the next assignment, you can you follow them. Okay, yeah. So the next thing what we have is someone asked me a question in between. Anyone?
sir,
No?
yesterday I missed the session due to the power cut. Can you please just tell me what has happened yesterday? Just a recap.
Deepika, like in the last class, we actually gone through, we have already know that there are 4 different ways we could able to apply the CSS. So if we take a common property, but with a different value, example, font size. So we take a font size, but we are giving the different values using all the 4 different ways. Okay,
Okay.
Inline, class, ID. Then how the browser is going to take, which one will be taken the priority. So it defaultly follows one priority. So can anyone come up with what actually the default priority order browser follows? So what is the highest priority being given to?
Inline.
Inline CSS. So inline CSS is going to have the higher priority, following with
ID.
ID.
ID with.
ID, then class. After that,
Then last is tag.
Based and the tag based. But if at all I want to override this priority order, what I'm going to?
exclamatory important.
Yeah. So Deepika, this is what we discussed in the last. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let us go with something called exploring tags A and IMG tag. Okay. So let us talk something about the anchor tag and the image tag. How do you add links to an external page, and how do we add what do you say, Yeah, how do we add links to the external page and how do we add images to the web page? So that is what we're about to discuss today. Okay, so let's have a look on that. Let us say, for example, I say some H3 tag. Okay, I say demonstrating anchor and image tags. Okay, so what do you mean by an anchor tag? So there is a predefined tag in your HTML which we call it as anchor tag. So what is the use of this anchor tag? The main intention of going with the anchor tag is anytime we want to create a link to an external web page, there we go with something called as anchor tag. Okay, so anytime we want to go with external link to a web page from the current web page, we go with something called as anchor tag. So now, say for example, you would have seen in most of the web pages, say something called please click here to visit to Google page. Okay, so this is what the text I have added. So now if you open in your browser, this is how it is coming. So my requirement is when I click on this text here, or when I click on this Google or anywhere, like when I click on some of the text here, it has to redirect me to the Google page. So now if you see here, Google page is not the page being created by us. It is an external page. So this is an internal page. We have created our own pages, but google.com, amazon.com, so and so web pages, those are external web pages. Now I want to create a link to an external web page. So how you can do that? We can simply go with something called as anchor tag, which is taking a mandatory attribute, something called as href. So till now, when I'm using a p tag or when I'm using an h3 tag or some other tags, we never seen that tags are taking attributes as a mandatory. We have seen some attributes like ID, name, class, etc. But we know that those were never been taken as a mandatory attributes, isn't it? So those are optional attributes. Based on our requirement, we can make use of the particular attributes. But coming to the anchor tag, href is one of the mandatory attribute using which we could able to specify the path of the external page which has to be redirected to. Okay. Now say for example, under this anchor tag, I say ABC. Some text I have added. Now if you
Sir,
refresh
I'm
your
very sorry, sir. Could you repeat what anchor tag is the definition? We are actually noting it down. Or you're going little bit faster.
okay. So, I mean, when I'm discussing the things, I mean, if I'm going fast, tell me at that point itself, guys, because instead of re-repeating from the very start. But anyway, thanks for reminding that. What I'm saying is anchor tag is used to create a reference to an external page. Now, this is what the text I have. Say, for example, ABC is there. Now, whenever I'm clicking on this ABC, I would like to redirect to an external page. Okay, so for that, what actually I'm doing here, I'm creating anchor tag, which is having a mandatory attribute called as href. Under this, I'm going to specify the path. I mean, what is the path or URL of the external web page? And this is the text. Whenever you click on this, this is the path what you're going to. Say, for example, I say http www.google.com. This is what the package path I have added. Now, if you save this guy, reload the page, you see whenever you add it as an anchor tag, automatically it comes with an underline. Okay. And another thing, instead of google.com, let me say flipkart.com. Okay. So now when I say flipkart.com, save this guy and come back to your page and reload the page. Flipkart is also visited. Okay, let me make it as shopclues.com. Okay, so when I reload the page, come on, why the hell? Okay, So by default, it will be coming in a blue color, but these all are the links which I have already visited. Let me go for say something for the sbi.com. Okay, so by default, if you could see, anchor tag renders the content with a blue color and it comes with an underline. And whenever you move your cursor to a link tag, it automatically turns to a pointer. Okay, the pointer indicates that it is a clickable part. Once you click on it, it will be redirecting to something. And whenever I'm clicking on this ABC, see here, from our web page, is it not trying to go to a web page called as sbi.com? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is how you could able to create link to an external web page using anchor tag. Am I clear? Okay, now I don't want to, and another thing, if you remove this anchor tag, my intention is when the user is clicking on this text, then I want to go to the external web page. Then I simply say anchor tag, okay, a tag open, a tag close, and as I said you, mandatory attribute href. Now I say http www.google.com. And now if you come back and reload the page, see here, the click is turning it like a underline. And now if you see, earlier when I was using sbi.com, it is coming in a blue color, but now this guy is coming in some purple color stuff. So what does that indicate? Whenever you have the blue link, that indicates that the link is not yet visited. User haven't yet visited that web page. But if it is turning into purple color, that indicates that user has already visited that web page and that is already part of the history of the user. So user browser's history is having that web page. That is the reason it will show in this color. So you can understand that, okay, I have already visited the Google page. And once you click on this, it will again revisit to the web page. And one thing what you see here is, whenever we are clicking on the link, it is actually replacing the current web page, isn't it? See here, when I'm clicking on this, when I'm clicking on this, it is replacing the current web page. Now, if at all you want to have that guy to be open in a new tab, you have something called as underscore target is equal to underscore blank. By default, it is having something called as self, which indicates you have to replace the existing page. But my intention is a blank page. What do you mean by this? Anytime user is clicking on this link, you make sure the web page opens in a new blank tab. Now, if you save this guy and reload the page, now when I'm clicking on this link, do you see a new tab got open? That is where the google.com is getting open. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is what about the anchor tag. We could able to load an external web page using a single anchor tag. We can load a single external web page. If you want to load multiple pages, then we need to use multiple anchor tags. Okay, in a single page, any number of anchor tags can be placed. Say, for example, I would like to put some another anchor tag. Okay, www.amazon.com. Okay, click to visit Amazon. Okay, save this guy, come back here, reload the page. Here, click to visit Amazon.com. Now, when I'm see here, it is in blue color. Now, when I'm clicking on this guy, see Amazon.com is visited. Now, if I come back, why so? In the history, Amazon.com is there. That is giving me indication that this web page you have already visited. But what if your requirement is doesn't matter whether I visited or not? It is in blue color. So you can control the look and feel of the anchor tag. Okay, it is not mandatory that you need to.
What is the use of underscore blank, sir? Target underscore blank.
Let me that, then I will come up with the question. Please. Okay. What I'm saying is, by default, it comes with a blue color, and once we click on that guy, it turns into a purple color, which is indicating that it is part of the history you have already visited. But it is not. You can always control the look and feel of an anchor tag. how I'm going to do that? So you can say style. I mean, by default, it was coming in a blue color, right? Now I will say anchor tag, color, something called as green color. So we can always control the look and feel of. Guys, if you're not talking, please go into mute. Don't make me guys. Okay, so this is how you see here. It is coming in a blue color, sorry, green color. And what if I don't want to show an underline here? Then you can always remove that using something called anchor tag. There is something called as text hyphen decoration. When you say text hyphen decoration underline, it is going to add an underline. But if you say text underscore decoration as a none property, which will remove the underline property. Now, if you ask me a question, I don't want to show the underline by default, but when the user is mouse hovering on that, then I need to show the underline. So that is where you will be having a concept, something called as pseudo classes. So we say over something called as text hyphen decoration underline. Now, if you come back here and reload the page, see underline is not there, but I'm mouse hovering on it, it is coming. So regarding the pseudo classes, I will take a separate class, guys, because there are a lot of pseudo classes and pseudo elements. So I will take it as a separate. Just want to show you that it can be possible. So in a separate class, maybe tomorrow's class, I'll be going with what do you mean by pseudo class? What are the pseudo elements we have? So those all things we'll be discussing separate. Okay. But for now, this is what an anchor tag is, used to create external link to the web page, so that whatever the web pages any external web page, you can create a link from your current web page. And another thing, guys, whenever you are giving the path of this link, it is not mandatory that you have to give the public web pages. Now, if you see Amazon.com, it is a public URL. Google.com, it's a public URL. Like abc.com, gmail.com, any web pages, those all are public web pages. It's not mandatory that you should only give the public web page links here, but we can even give the local web pages also. Say, for example, yesterday we were working on, say, for example, on 23rd, this is the link what we have created. Now, I would like to create a link over here. Then what I can say here, I can come over here. Let me say some PR tag. Okay. Now I say an anchor tag href is equal to, this is what I'm adding. Okay. I say click to visit our page. So this is our page. Now, if I come back, reload the page. Now, when I'm clicking our page, see here, is it not redirecting to our web page? Yes. So whenever you are giving the path to the href attribute, not mandatory that you have to give the path of the public web pages. You can even give the local web pages also. Okay. And repeating the target attribute, using the target attribute, if you don't specify the target attribute, it will replace the current web page. Now, if you see, when I'm clicking on this, click on visit, see here, it is replacing the current web page. It is not opening in a new tab. But when you see for the google.com, I gave it as a, for the Amazon, okay, for google.com, I gave it as a underscore blank. See here, when I'm clicking on this, it is opening a new tab and it is showing the content. That is what we call it as target underscore blank. So any questions here, guys? And
Yes,
one
So
thing,
what if you want to open in a new window? So like
ma'am,
underscore blank, do we have any other thing that we can give in target?
in order to open a new window, we need to go with the JavaScript. Okay. So using your JavaScript code, we can actually specify what is the it has to be open in a separate window, and it has to be what is the dimensions and all that can be done through the JavaScript with the combination of an anchor tag.
So in target, we can only provide underscore blank, right?
By default, there is something called as underscore self.
So
Which-
can you use target
Right.
for local page?
Sorry.
Can we use the target for local pages, sir? Open for next line. I mean next window. Local pages.
Anything. When I'm saying target attribute, not only for the public, even for private, like public or local pages, anywhere you can make it.
One show me, please, sir.
Guys, just give me a second. My laptop is out of charge.
Sir,
Okay,
what
sir.
is the use of underscore blank, sir?
So what are you saying is show me here, right? Same. I say something called as target equal to underscore blank. Now, if you save this guy, come back here and reload the page here. Now, if you see, this is our web page. It's opening in a new tab. There is no rule that it's only for the external page or a public page. Anyone else? Any other questions?
What if you want to open in a new window, sir?
That is what other girl asked the question, right? I said you when you want to open it in a separate window, we need to go with the JavaScript option. There is something called as window.open method. Through
Okay.
JavaScript, make it as a separate window.
Okay.
Sir, for
Okay.
now, we have to just use target is equal to underscore blank, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there is no other option.
There is something called as underscore self, which is already been used. I mean, by default, it is underscore self. If you mention it or if you don't mention it, by default, it's a self property, which indicates replace the current page.
Okay. Sir, one more doubt I had is you told that we can change the color of the link and all, right? So can it be that we can put the link even in black, right? And but it will be more difficult for the person to understand what's the link and what's not the link, right?
Color combination is always your requirement. Doesn't matter whether you make it in a white color or blue color, red color, black color. It's up to you.
Okay, sir.
But it is recommended that it gets highlighted so that user will get an understanding that,
Yeah.
okay, by looking into that, he will feel that, okay, it's a link, I need to click on it.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
It's
Sir, in target, there may be top and parent attributes are available.
no, right?
Top and parent.
No, I haven't discussed anything about the top and parent attributes, right?
Okay.
Okay. So the next tag, what actually we have is there is something called as IMG tag, a predefined HTML tag using which we could able to include external images or local images into the web page. Repeating again, IMG is a predefined tag using which we could able to include external images or internal images into the web page. It also takes a mandatory attribute called as SRC, through which you are going to specify the path of the image. Where is the image URL? You just need to specify, it automatically gets added with the particular image what we have given. And the image tag is again a self-closing tag, because image tag we are using to add an image, that path we are specifying under the SRC attribute itself, then why the reason you need to give the content inside it? So that is the reason there is no opening tag and closing tag for the IMG. It is a self-closing tag, okay, which takes a mandatory attribute SRC through which you can control the, through which you can specify the path of an image. So let us take some external path, guys. Say, for example, some images. Okay. So let's open this guy, open in a new tab. Now, if you see, this is what the path of an image. Hope everybody know how to copy the image paths, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
It's a very common thing. Right mouse click on an image and you say something called as copy link address, or right mouse click on this, open image. I don't want to save it. Open image in a new tab. So this is how you could able to see the path here. Now you copy the URL. Come back to the anchor tag, IMG tag. Under the SRC, simply specify the path of it. As simple as this. Okay. Now, if you save this guy, come back over here and come back to your web page. Once you reload the page, do you see the web page or the image got added to the web page? Yes, it is. Okay. And if you clearly observe, guys, after the link tag within the same line, IMG is coming. Okay. It is not coming into the new line. Why it is? Because it is an inline. We'll talk about that later. But for now, in order to get it to a new line, I'm using the BR tag. Now, if you refresh your image.
Hello, sir. I have a question, sir.
We could able to control the dimensions of an image anytime. whenever we want it, whatever the image we got added, we can always control the dimensions of the image using, let us say, for example, I'm putting a class. I don't want to go with the inline CSS here. So let me say some class equal to img block I'm saying. Okay, I'm giving a class called as img block. Now let us take this class. Let us define the class here. Okay, I say dot img block. Now I say the width, width is a width property using which you can actually specify the actual width the image has to occupy. I say 150 pixel. I use something called as height property. I say 150 pixel. Now, if you save this guy, come back here and reload the page. Could you able to control the dimensions? Yes. Okay, so using the height and width property, we could able to control the width and height of an element. Sorry, of a image tag. And on the top, image tag is having another attribute, something called as alt attribute, ALT. Now you specify that error while reading image, something like this. I just added some message. Now, if you come back and reload the page, do you see that message? No. Then what is the use of that alt message? Alt attribute indicates alternative text, which will be shown automatically when there is an error while loading the image. Repeating again, ALT attribute means that it is a alternative text which will be shown automatically when there is an error getting while loading the particular image. Now, right now, I'm giving the current image path, it is getting. I give you some junk value. Obviously, do you see that image gets loaded? No. Now, if you reload the page, now it has to, come on, man, it is even showing it. Okay, let us say, for example, this guy, I'm putting some junk value. Now, when I'm reloading the page, you see here, now the alt text has come. So it will automatically will be shown to the user when there is a problem with the error. Sorry, when there is a problem with the image loading. Okay, that is what called as ALT. Anyway, you already know something called as title tag, which we already discussed. What do you mean by title tag? You can add some message. So say, for example, this is my photography. Okay, something like this. Now, where it is, okay, let me revert back the junk code. Save this guy. Now, if you see, image will be shown. And when the title message will be shown, whenever I mouse over on this, that is where the tooltip will be shown for us. And this tooltip, not only for the image tag, for any tag you wanted, you can create the tooltip of it. Okay, so another question, another requirement what you might be having is, boss, can I combine an image tag and an anchor tag? Okay, till now, what we have done, we are putting some text within the anchor tag so that on click of a text, it is redirecting. Is it is possible? On click of an image, is it is possible to redirect? Yes, boss, it is always possible. In that case, what I need to do, we need to say something called as an anchor tag. Now, what anchor tag is saying, under this, whatever you keep it, any content you keep it, including an image, including a p tag, including heading, including div tag, any content you add it, on click of this content, I will be redirecting to this path. Okay, now let me copy another image. For example, say, for example, this is the image, open in the new tab. This is the image path. I'm copying the image path and I'm giving the path as like this. And now I say, oh, sorry, I have to put the image over here, right? Now I say img tag, src attribute I'm giving. It is a self-closing tag. Okay. Now for the href, I say http, something called as shopclues.com. Now, if you save this guy, come back, and where is your web page? Reload the page. Now, if you see, this guy is coming. Whenever I'm mouse overing, see here, it is turning into link tag. Whenever I'm clicking, is it not redirecting to me to shopclues.com? Yes, it is. Okay. So this is how you could able to redirect to a web page either on click on, and one IMG tag is always used to load only one image here. If you want to load multiple images, we need to go with the multiple IMG tags. In a single web page, we can add any number of image tags. Okay, yeah. Now, any questions, guys? Please go ahead.
Can we
Sir,
control
can you download that?
control the tooltip text from CSS?
It is not possible, Giri. By default, tooltip has its own property, but we can create our own tooltips. Instead of showing the, instead of using the title tag, we can create our own tooltips. On mouse over, you can show something that can be controlled, but the default tooltips cannot be controlled. Next.
Sir, can you download that image to your local machine? You have shown that local browser address.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let
you
us
have
say,
shown
for
that.
example, yeah, let me show that. Say, for example, okay, let me show you how do you want to make it as local, right? Now, say, for example, this image is there. Right mouse click on this. I say something called a save image as. Under the desktop, I'm saving this image. Okay. A lot of people have a confusion. How do I make use of this image? Okay. How do I make use of this image? It's very simple, guys. I mean, you don't know the path of this, guys. It is always recommended. Drag the image, drop onto the browser. Okay. Once you drop onto the browser, do you get the complete path on the top here? Yes. Now you copy that path, go back to your code. Now you say IMG tag src is equal to so and so. It is a self-closing tag as it is. Now, if you come back and reload the page, this is the local image which got loaded. So either you can load the local images or the global or public images. Next.
So we can add borders also, right, for the images?
All the CSS properties can be added. If you want to control the border for this, say, for example, I say IMG tag is there. I'm adding for every IMG tag. I say border, say some 2 pixels, solid, say something called as green. Now, if you come back here and reload the page, you see every other image is coming with a border. Next.
Got it.
Sir, can we add multiple images in a single anchor tag?
Yes, you can add under the anchor tag. Now, what anchor tag is saying is, now when I open an anchor tag, whatever the href you're giving equal to some path you're giving. Now I say anchor. What anchor tag says is, you give all the junk code. You link, you give some anchor, you give another anchor tag, you give some images, you give some text, anything you give it out. My intention or my capability is, anytime you click on this guy, I will be redirecting to your path. You add one image, you add multiple images, you add multiple text content, you add a heading, anything. You click on it, it will be redirecting it. That's what its behavior. Next.
Yes. Okay.
Sir, height and width properties should be given in pixel only, sir.
You can always do that using the percentages also. Now I say width equal to something called as some 60%. So whatever my current container you have, accordingly it is going to get adjusted. Now if this is 60%, it got adjusted. So it is always, sometimes it is recommended to go with the big percentages only for the containers, not for the images. Because once you see an image, it's always recommended that to have the same type of width and height every time instead of shrinking and increasing. Next.
Sir, will screen reader read the title value or alt value, sir? For image, if you have title and alt, what does it read?
Title is something called, when you mouse over on it, it will show as a tooltip.
Sorry?
So, yes. So hope everyone is clear with the anchor tag and the image tag.
Yes, sir.
No more questions.
And one more is that the anchor tag can have again one more anchor tag inside, right?
You can have any number of anchor tags, but it is always recommended to go with a single anchor tag, because there is a confusion. Like when I'm clicking on the child anchor tag, there is a chance, there is a concept, something called as event bubbling and event capturing. So where when you invoke an event on the child, it will be even transmitting that event to the parent also. So it is always, I mean, that is actually an invalid way to add multiple anchor tags within the same anchor tag. It is recommended to have only one anchor tag, not as a other child anchor tag. Okay, so hope everyone is clear about what actually the anchor tag is, what actually the image tag is. Now it's time to learn something called as a block level elements and inline elements. Okay, so but before going with this block level and inline elements, guys, first of all, I will. Sorry, what was that?
Sir, I have one query, sir. Sir, about the linking, you have demonstrate that external linking.
Hassan,
will you elaborate about the?
Hassan, I think somehow we are not understanding your voice. Could you please repeat again?
Am I audible, sir?
You are audible, but somehow it is no clarity.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, sir, about the external linking you have demonstrated, sir. Internal linking I am just confused. What is internal linking? And sir, one more question is, sir, that in an image tag, can we have multiple images in a loop, sir?
Sorry, Hassan. I mean, is it a problem for me or anyone can understand this question, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir, I can't.
Hassan, maybe like you can type.
Okay, sir. I can type in chat.
Yeah, please type it out. I can and I will explain it. Okay. 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 So the next thing what we have is going to use
Sir, voice is breaking.
Sir, we can't hear you.
I am not talking anything. 1 second. I'm just going with the notes once. I mean, as per the notes, what is our next topic? So hope everybody is going through the notes also. Okay, so let us say, for example, right now we talked about the IMG tag. So you could see what is the properties of all the IMG tag, etc., with the sample example. Okay, and the next concept what we have is DOM structure, which we have already discussed. Debugger tool, we already finished it. CSS priority, we already finished it out. And the next thing is inline and block level elements. Oh, I think I have started the inline and block level elements only. Then in that case, we'll start with that. Okay. So I will postpone that pseudo classes and pseudo elements later. So we are about to talk something called as block level and inline elements concept in your HTML, guys. Okay. The reason is, say for example, a practical example, let's take it. Say for example, I am a scientist. Assume I'm a scientist and my requirement, like my top management told me that understand the behaviors of do some research on how actually the human is actually behaving. Now, if the research has to be started, what is the very first requirement I need to understand here, guys? Before actually starting the research, what is the main requirement I should know? Do I need to know that there are actually two types of human beings? There are two types of human beings. I mean, two gender, yes or no? That is the very minimum thing, right? First of all, I need to understand that, okay, this is a human, this is a male. I mean, how does actually a male looks and how does actually a female looks? On the top, now I can research or I can do the research on the human beings, like how actually boys are behaving, how actually females are behaving, with all the different attributes. To get expertise on HTML, do I need to know the list of all the HTML tags I have? Yes. So before exploring all the HTML tags, what are the different categories the HTML elements are being divided into? All the HTML tags or elements are
Sir,
being
we could
divided
not
into
hear
two
your
types
voice
to
Sir,
either.
your voice is breaking. Sir.
It's lagging,
Is it is
sir.
for everyone?
Lagging.
Yeah, sir.
Is it is for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Suddenly
Yes, sir.
break your voice, sir.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible? Is it is okay now?
Yeah, sir.
Or still it's
Yes, sir.
okay? I mean, SLPK is fine or not fine?
Fine.
Fine, sir.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. What I'm saying is, all the HTML elements are always been categorized into two types. Any HTML element you take a heading tag, you take an anchor tag, you take an image tag. In future, we are going to see something called as div tag, span tag, UL tag, table tag, HR tag. Lot of tags are there. Every tag, whatever you take, that has to belong to either a block level category or an inline category. Okay, any element you, or it has to belong to a inline category. In the same way, say for example, I take a human being. Obviously, he has to belong to either a female category or a male category, right? So I need to understand what is the very first thing. Whenever I'm picking a human being, how do I know that whether what cat? I know there are, or he's a girl, she's a girl. In
Your
the
voice
same
is
way,
lagging.
Sir,
Your
your-
voice is.
one second, guys. Let me sign out and sign it again. 1 second. Be online.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
No. Guys, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What happened?
Sir,
Why no?
It's still
again
lagging.
lagging, sir.
Not clear.
What happened? Actually, I have even changed my network connection. Why it is lagging?
Your voice is close, sir.
Am I good now?
You are good now, but I think there is occasional lag that you are receiving. It's not frequent. It's it's after every certain time you're breaking up again and then you're rejoining again. So your voice is, what's happening is sometimes you're speaking really quickly and sometimes you're speaking really slowly and sometimes your words are being missed.
Okay, what
Yes,
about
sir.
now?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay, so please do remind me, guys. I mean, instead of chat, please try to speak out because I may not look into the chat. So when you see something lagging or going speed, let me know. I will repeat the things again. Again, the
Now
same.
it's
You
clear,
please
sir.
start from the block level and the difference what you talked before.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't.
Yeah, I'll do that, ma'am. But the very first thing is my voice is okay or not?
Yes, sir. It's
Now it's
okay.
okay, sir.
Now it is okay. Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a lot better. Yes.
Okay, fine. So what I'm talking is every HTML element is being categorized into two parts. Sorry, two categories, which is called as inline element and block level element. If you are an expertise UI developer, if you say that I'm good at the HTML, the very first and foremost thing you need to understand is how does a block level element actually behaves? How does an inline element behaves? Okay, so you need to understand that what actually a block level.
Sir,
How
your
does
voice
it
is not
actually?
audible, sir.
Oh my God. What actually the problem, guys?
It's clear, sir.
It is clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Sir.
Okay. Okay. So we are talking about the block level and inline. So we need to understand that what element belongs to the block level category and what element belongs to the inline category. So let us see, when I say an element belong to a block level, what properties it is going to have. When I say an element is an inline element, what properties it is going to have. So that if you understand these two differences, any element, I say when you say, okay, anchor tag is rendering this way, you can simply say that whether it is an inline or a block level. Okay. So this is a very, very important topic, guys. Put some extra attention. If you don't understand any point, please ask me. I will repeat the things. Okay. So the very first thing is, whenever I say block level element, the best example what I have is div tag. Div is a tag. Okay. Whenever I say block level element, div tag is the best example. Now, if you ask me a question, boss, you said paragraph tag, which is used to hold multiple lines of content. You said H1 to H6 tags used to hold the heading. You said anchor tag used to create a link. You said img tag used to hold an image. Then what is this div tag is used for? The main intention of div tag is used to group relative items as an individual block. Block level element is always used to group relative items into a single block. Let me show you what actually it is. Now I say HTML, I say something called as block level elements.html. Okay. Now say, for example, yesterday I was asking a question to you guys. Can you please create the student details? What you guys were doing? You are saying that, okay, boss, you asked me something called as name, Mr. Raj. Okay. And I have to show some age here, age. And on the top, again, you are going to put something called as a BR tag, isn't it? So I say something called as age, say some 20, again a BR tag. I say something called as gender, say some male, BR tag. This is what you're doing. Say, for example, this is the details of one student. What if I want to go with second student like this? What if I want to go with 3 students? Now, what actually we are doing is, isn't not all these 3 different items or properties belong to a single category of student details? Yes. Then why you are putting as a scattered? This is where your div tag is always responsible of. And this is where div tag is always used of. Anytime you want to group relative multiple items into a single block, you simply go with the div tag. Okay, so here there is some set of elements. Again, you create something called as a div tag. Div is a block level element, blocking or grouping multiple relative items into a single block. This is why the div tag is used for. Okay, so now if you save this guy, come back here, reload the page, open in the browser, this is how it is coming. But once you go into the source code of this, is it not relevant code is a part of an individual block? Yes, that is where you go with the div tag. On the top, what are its behavior? How actually it behaves? How the actually look and feel of the div tag will be there. Let's have a simple example on this. Okay, for now, I'm just removing these guys. This is simple thing. I say, observe it clearly, guys. I say item 1. I say item 2. I say item 3. I say item 4. I say item 5. Simple 5 text items I have added. Come back to the page and reload the page here. Do you see why all the items are into the single line? Now, if I ask you a question, boss, I have given the line breaks wherever I wanted. Why the reason it is not considering, boss? Hope you know that already. Why the reason it is not adding the line breaks when it is rendering on the page?
HTML does
Come on.
not. HTML not allow will not be
Even
used
mention
any
any tag to
cases.
Because browser not allowed.
Exactly. Browser doesn't consider whatever the line break you give, it is not at all going to consider. What HTML is saying, if you want the line breaks, if you want the spaces, whatever the look and feel changes you wanted, always make use of the corresponding CSS or corresponding HTML. Okay. If you give line breaks, I'm not at all going to consider. Okay. That is fine. Now, let me go with something called, I will say for the item 3, I want to keep it inside the div tag. Okay, item 3, I'm just keeping inside the div tag. Now I'm saving this guy. Come back to the page. Now I'm reloading the web page. Can you tell me what is the first observation here? The first observation after I keep the code inside the div tag, what is the first observation here?
It always starts from the new line.
Awesome. Next.
Line break.
Next. That is good that it is into the new line. What
It
next
takes
is
the
happening?
whole width of the window.
It occupies the
Taking
whole
full length.
whole space.
Divide
Come
the
on, who
screen.
said that?
Different
It has made
How
the
can we-
partitions there.
Sir, on the top we can see block level elements.
Sir, actually it divides the page, sir.
It can't come side by side.
It
Sir, it's
divide the
taking-
screen in multiple lines.
Sir, it's
That
taking
is
its
good.
whole space.
Okay, it is good that you are looking into the notes and at least you are going through the notes and you're saying that something is happening. But what I asked is, by looking into the page, what happened, guys? The very first thing is, it has come to the new line.
Next line.
And the guy who is following that, also falling under the new line? Yes or no? So that is the behavior of the very first behavior of a block level element is, it never ever renders into the same line. It will automatically come to the new line, irrelevant of whether you give the BR tag or not. Okay, we haven't given any BR tag, but it will automatically fall into the new line. And the guy who is following it also falls into the new line automatically. Super fine. Now, that is the first observation, guys. The first observation, what we see here is block level, it is, right? So I say block level element. The first observation is coming to new line. So what is the second observation? The second property, what a block level element does is, say for example, I'm giving a class to this guy. I say some item 3, I'm saying, I take this class name, I go with the style tag, I go with something called as item 3, I say background, something called as yellow green I'm giving. For the item 3, I'm giving the yellow green as a background color. Now, if you come back and reload the page, you tell me how much percentage of width it is occupying.
100%.
Is it not automatically occupying the 100% width of the page? Yes, boss. This is the default property. By default, it occupies 100% width of the container. I'm not saying that 100% width of the page. It is occupying the 100% width of the container on which it is there. Right now, what is my container? My container is the body tag. Implies my parent tag is body tag, right? So I'm occupying the 100% width of the body tag. Okay, that is the second property. On the top, the third property, what actually we have is, even though it is occupying 100% width, you can always control the dimensions of the element. Okay, even though it is occupying 100% width, you can say, no boss, I want only 200 pixel. Now, if you come back here and reload the page here, it is occupying only 200. In the same way, I would like to control the height property. Is it possible, boss? So I say height, say some 200 pixel. Save this guy, come back here, reload the page. This is how it is. So by default, it is occupying the 100% width. On the top, we can control the width and height of elements. Okay, so the three features what actually a block level element is having is it will come to the new line. By default, it occupies the 100% width of the container. On the top, we could able to control the width and height of an element. If any element you take out, if that element is having these type of features, that we call it as block level element. Example, let us say I say something called as item 6. Now I say something called as item 7. I'm keeping this item 6 into the paragraph tag. Let us see. I say paragraph tag. Come back over here. Reload the page. Is it not item 6 automatically coming into the new line, boss? Yes, boss. Okay. On the top, let us say some style equal to background color, some blue. Now, if you save this, come back over here, reload the page. Is it not occupying the 100% width, boss? Yes. Okay. On the top, if I say width equal to say some 300 pixel, come back here, reload the page. Could we able to control the width and height of it? Yes. Can I say that paragraph tag falls under the block level? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, yes. But on the top, it is having some other properties. What was that? It is automatically maintaining some space on the top and on the bottom. That is an extra property what it is having. In the same way, instead of paragraph tag, I say H3 tag, something like this. I say H3, come back here and reload the page. Is the H3 automatically coming into the new line? Yes.
Yes.
Is the H3 could able to control the width and height of it? Yes.
Yes.
Now, can I say that it's a block level element? Yes.
Yes,
On
sir.
the
Yes,
top, it is having some extra properties. What was that? It is going to maintain a space on the top and bottom. It is automatically making the content inside that as a bold. So they are block level. On the top, they're a different category. Now, in the same way, when I say that human beings, male are there, female are there. Now, when I say male, under the male, there are different categories, right? Say, for example, I go to Africa. So there is also human being male, but their look and feel is something different. They have a different properties. Now, in the same way, when I come to India, Indian look different. Now, when I go for US, when I go to different countries, I see some different people. All are men's. On the top, they have their own different properties. In the same way, block level element have the common property, but on the top, they have a unique different property. So that is what we call it as a block level element. Now, by looking into the element, I mean, obviously not by looks, the way it is rendering on the page, can you confirm or can you actually tell what actually, whether it belongs to a block level or an inline element? Sorry, inline, we haven't saw that. At least you can say whether it is a block level or not.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Anyone, any questions on the top of this? This is very important to understand, guys, because until and unless you don't understand whether it is a block level or inline, you cannot go further. No questions?
no questions.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, please.
So we can use the free tag and S tag for block level. Then why you use the div tag?
Paragraph tag intention is not to group the multiple elements. Paragraph intention is used to add some multi-line text content. Heading tags is used to hold some headings, not to group the list of elements. If you group the list of elements using the heading tag, it is possible, but is it not all the items are coming unnecessarily in the bold format? But when you give it an inside a div tag, I'm not having any extra properties. I'm simply grouping the related items into a single block. Am I clear, Prakash?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Next, coming into inline element. So how actually an inline element looks like? Let's have a look. Okay, so I say HTML. So the best example what you have for the inline element is span tag. Span is one of the predefined tag using which, I mean, that is what the best example for an inline element. Why it is used, we'll have a look. Now, again, I say item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4,
item 5, and item 6. Okay, save this one. Now, when I go for item 4, I'm simply saying something called as span tag. Save this guy. Nothing I'm doing. I'm simply keeping inside the span tag. Open inside the browser. You tell me what is the first observation. Is it is coming into the new line?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, it is into the same line. Okay, super fine. Now I will say some style. I will say span tag. Say some background. Yeah, I say some background, something called as blue color. Save this guy. Come back over here and reload the page. Can you guys tell me what is the total width it is occupying?
No.
What is
No,
the
sir.
total width it is occupying? What is no?
Itself.
What is the
Only for
Only the
only for the word
elements,
that
sir.
you have
Only
given.
for item
Only
4.
the
Itself.
content what it is holding, only that much of width it is occupying. It is not increasing, it is not occupying the 100% width. Now, when I say instead of item 4, I say some junk, some extra text, obviously my width is increasing. So my width is always dependent on the text content, what actually I'm holding. My width,
Your voice
right?
is
What is the disturbance I'm getting? May I know
your
who is
voice.
that?
Not audible.
It's okay, 1 second, guys. I'm getting the disturbance. So that is the reason. Okay. So yeah, what I'm saying is, if you see, when I'm increasing the content inside, automatically my background is increasing. So the width is not dependent on 100% I'm occupying, but it is always dependent on what is the content I'm holding. Based on the content what I have, I'm actually increasing my width of the container. Okay. Okay. On the top, let us say I want to control the width as 200 pixel. Save this guy. Come back here. Reload the page. Is it is considering, boss? No. Okay. Now I say something called as height equal to 300 pixel. Save this guy. Come back here. Reload the page. Is it is considering, boss? Not at all. So what do you mean by an inline element? The very first property is it will never ever come to the new line. It always falls into the same line. Second point, it doesn't occupy the 100% width of the container. The width of an inline element always depends upon the content what it is holding. Third point, you give the width or height properties, it never considers, it simply skips it off. So if any element is behaving something like this, you can simply say that element belongs to an inline element. Let's take an example. Say, for example, I'm going with some anchor tag. I say some anchor tag, href equal to http, something called as some google.com. I say some text here. Save this guy. Come back here. Reload the page. You tell me anchor tag is block level or inline element? Anchor.
Inline.
Come on, guys. Is it not
Sir,
block
inline.
level?
No,
Inline
no,
element.
it's an
No,
inline.
sir.
It's not
Inline.
going into an
It is an
inline.
inline element. Okay. Let us try to give the background for the anchor tag. Anchor tag, background, something called as yellow. Come back here, reload the page. What is the width it is taking, boss? Only the content what it is holding.
Content.
On the top, you cannot control the width and height of it. This is what we call it as a inline element. Now, any element is behaving like this, we simply call it as an inline. Any element is behaving like other properties, we call it as a block level. So from today, any time we are going with any of the new tag, you need to understand based on the way it is wandering, based on the way it is rendering. Rendering means how actually it is getting occupied on the page. So based on the way it is getting rendered, you should be able to say whether it is a inline element or a block level element. A very, very, very important topic, guys. If you go into the notes, it was clearly being given block level elements. So what are block level elements? Every other properties are being specifically given over here. So please go into the notes clearly and let me know if you have any questions on this. Whatever the content we have discussed, same thing theoretically I have added there. That's it.
Sir,
Any
I have
more
a doubt.
questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, is it necessary that all the elements should belong to either of those two types?
There is no HTML element which doesn't belong to these type. Any element you go, either it has to belong to the block level or inline. That's it. There is something called as inline block also, but again, it is a inline or block. That's it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Next. I mean, it is not, we cannot say that whether it is necessary or not. Because
Hello,
we
sir.
are not specifying that whether it has to belong to the block level, or we are not specifying that you have to go to the inline or you have to go for block level. When I'm using a div tag, it is behaving something different. Based on the way it is behaving, you are confirming that whether it is block level or inline. Okay. Yeah. Next question.
Repeat, sir. Span tag.
Span tag is an inline element used to render the content within the same line. It doesn't consider the width and height properties. It only takes the width based on the content what actually it is holding. Next.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you repeat the heading tag?
Sorry, ma'am.
Heading tag you have explained now. It is
Okay,
block
heading
level
tag.
or yeah, I want to know.
So heading tag is again a block level. Now, if you see, here is the H3 tag what we have added. So when it is getting rendered, if you see here, heading tag is coming this much of width. It was initially occupying the 100% width. And why could able to control the width of that guy? Obviously, that is coming like a block level element. But on the top, it is having some extra properties. Now, if you see when a div guy, is maintaining some space on the top and bottom? No. Div guy, is highlighting in the form of a bold format? No. Why so? Heading is a block level along with some extra properties. But when I go with the div guy, div is a pure block level element. That's it. Not having any other extra properties.
Sir, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Is image, because you're able to control the size, is it an inline element or is it a block level element?
Okay, that's a good question. But before that, I think Hemant Reddy has a good question. So what he's saying is, just for knowledge, can't we control the inline tags just like how we could change the CSS priorities? So Hemant, that's a very good question. What he's saying is, can I control? I mean, obviously, when I'm saying CSS priorities, defaultly it is following something, but on the top, can I control something? Yes, you can always do that. We can make a inline element to render as like a block level. We can make a block level element to render as like an inline. So that we talk about something called as display property. There is a good CSS property, something called as display, which is going to be none or inline or block or grid or flex, inline or inline hyphen block. So when I talk about the CSS display property, then I'm going to discuss all this. Am I clear, Hemant? Okay, next. So Roger, you are saying that what about the IMG tag? Okay, let's have a look on that. So in actually, IMG tag belongs to something like this. Say, for example, I have multiple IMG tags. One IMG tag I have added. If you see, when I'm adding this IMG tag over here, open inside the browser, not this guy. Where is our block level? Oh, inline elements, right? Okay. So after this anchor tag, I'm putting the IMG tag. Now, if you come back and reload the page, you guys tell me whether it is an inline. It is an inline, right? Inline page, open inside the browser. Yeah. Can you tell me whether that guy belongs to the inline or block level? Image
Inline,
guy.
sir.
Inline.
Inline. It is not coming into the new line. It is falling under the same line. Then the very next question, what you need to throw me is, okay, but now if I say style equal to width of 120 pixel, if it is
But
an
we can
inline,
control height
I wouldn't have an option of controlling the width and height. What happened to this? I say width
There's no
120
closing
pixel.
brace. There's no closing brace for the width.
Okay, so now if you reload the page, could I able to control it? This is where the confusion you should be getting. Boss, you said image is rendering as like a block, inline, within the same line. It's not occupying 100% width. Now on the top, I could able to control it. So that is where there is a different category, which is like both inline and block. Very few of them. Image is one of the one. Inline and block. So it is inline rendering on the same line. On the top, you can control the dimensions as like a block level. But anyway, as I said you, when I talk about the display property, I will talk about all this in depth. So for now, you should be very much clear about what is the difference between a block level and an inline element. Am I clear here?
Yes,
sir.
Now, I have a very simple requirement. Right? Say, for example, I say, we all are from all love India. Okay, assume like this is the message what I kept. My requirement is I want to highlight this India here. Can you tell me how do I do that? I want to have the India as a different background or different
Span tag.
I go with the div tag.
Span tag. Span tag.
Obviously, I need to go with the span tag. Why so? For sure, the very first requirement what I have is, if at all I want to have the background color change, can I directly say style equal to something? Obviously, I cannot. In order to add the style attribute, first of all, it has to be part of a tag.
Yes.
Then I go with the ID or a class or a tag name or a style inline. For sure, it has to be a part of a tag, right? I cannot add the CSS directly to the text content. So first of all, it has to be in the tag. Now, what tag I should go for? For example, if I go with the div tag, what is the problem over here? Okay, I say div tag. I say something from the style equal to background, something called as yellow. Okay, save this guy. Come back here and reload the page. Awesome. India is coming with a yellow background. But why the hell it is coming into the new line? I don't want it, boss. It should be on the same. But on the top, I could able to add some CSS properties. So instead of div, I will say something called as span tag. Now, if you save this type, come back here and reload the page. See here, it is in the same line. That is the reason we go with the span tag. Span is one of the tags which is not having any default properties. On the top, you add the properties, it is going to render the same.
Sir, I want to
Questions?
Sir, I have a small.
Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
So
Yes,
as I
sir.
said, you please go through the notes also once and get it more clear so that it will be easy for you. The more the clarification you get with the block level and inline, the more the easy you will get to understand what all the other HTML elements. Okay?
Sir, one
Fine.
small doubt.
Yeah, please go
So
ahead.
when we extract the link from the online, that is from the outside, image tag, image
Okay.
links. If we refresh it, image will changes or not.
Image will not change, right? When you have the URL, say for example, this is the image URL. Copy image address.
Yes, sir.
This is the image that I have. Now, any number of times I'm reloading the page, it is the same, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that what your question or anything else?
Thank you.
I mean, did I answer your question or not?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Excuse
go
me,
ahead.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, kindly tell about the difference between sir inline and the block level elements, sir, because sir, at that time, sir, I lost my network, sir.
Okay. Fine, Gulshan. I mean, Gulshan, is that fine? I'll take it at the very last because other people might let me finish other people doubt, and at the final I can repeat the things for you. Okay.
Sir, I don't have
Yeah,
access to GitHub, sir.
Deepika, okay.
Yeah, sir.
No access. I mean, haven't I given to the I mean, haven't I given access to you guys?
Recently, I have done the payment, so I didn't have
Are
the
you
access.
part of the Telegram group, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm part of the Telegram group.
I mean, even today also I sent a message saying that please update your Telegram. I mean, send me the things here. Okay, but fine. Ma'am, can you please ping me in the Telegram once
Yeah, sir, sure.
with your Gmail ID? Okay, and someone else also said you don't have an access. May I know who is that?
Sir, me, sir, I'm Nikhil.
Nikhil. Nikhil, can you also please ping me your Gmail ID in the Telegram so that I will add you?
Sure, sir.
Sir, me too, sir. Gulshan, sir.
Okay,
Actually,
Gulshan, yeah,
sir,
whoever it is. Anyone,
whenever I did
who don't
message
have an
to the
access.
sir Ramesh sir, then he was telling, sir, your account is available.
Okay, anyone who is not having an access to the Telegram, you please ping me in the Telegram with your Gmail ID. I will add you immediately. Okay.
Sir, please, sir, continue class, sir.
Sorry, what was that?
Hello, sir.
Sir, he's asking tomorrow is closed or not.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Can we style?
Ma'am, we lost you again. Next.
Hello, sir.
Ma'am, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Can we style the tooltip?
Can we style the tooltip? No, that
Yes.
is, I think someone asked this question, right? So
I
someone
don't
asked the
think-
same question that it is possible to style the tooltip? Actually, no. But what if I want to create with some yellow background tooltip, etc. and all? We can create our own custom tooltips. We can create the custom tooltips, which will be on the top. You can do the changes or look and feel changes, but the predefined tooltips, we cannot style it. I mean, we cannot change the look and feel of it.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
what about assignments?
What
Sir,
about assignments? Assignments I have already given to you guys, right?
No, sir. Today's assignment.
Hello, sir.
Can you please put the complete question? I mean, when you say what about assignment, in the sense, what do you mean? I mean, you're talking about today's assignment or something like that?
Yes, sir. Today's assignment.
Okay, fine. Next question. Who is that?
sir, you are using URL for when
Actually, I'm not getting your voice, guys. Can you repeat again?
Hello. Now,
Hello,
sir,
sir.
are you? Hello,
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
sir. My question is on image tag. If I want to make a folder and I put all the image in it, and if I want to host my page, am I face any problem?
Okay, that's a very good question, Sonali. So what she's saying is, boss, what if like I will be copying the images? Pavani, can you please go into mute, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is her question is, if she is having a list of some n number of images, okay, and she want to upload all the images into a, I mean, she want to host the images into a particular file or web page, whatever it is. So how can she do that? Okay, so the best example is, for this, we need to talk something about, Pavani, can you please go into mute somehow like it is actually showing the background.
अरे सर इतना now से बात हुआ.
Anyone, if you're not talking, please make sure you see your settings that it is in unmuted. When you want to speak, please unmute and you can talk actually. Okay, fine. So yeah, what is her, okay, before talking about this, we need to understand something called as what is a path. Okay, path is actually of two types. Okay, there is something called as absolute path and there is something called as relative path. Okay, there is something called absolute path and a relative path. So what do you mean by an absolute path? Absolute path is equal to the complete path. As relative path equal to relevant path. Okay, absolute path is called as a complete path and relative path is equal to the relevant path. What do you mean by this absolute path? Whenever we are giving any resource, doesn't matter whether it is an anchor link or an image path, whatever it is, when we are giving the complete path, we call it as a absolute path. Now, if you see here, this is the complete absolute, or else like when you go into the image, whatever the images we have added, when you go out here, okay, let me say some ABC, some images. When I go for this open image in a new tab, you see here, oh, this is a base 64 image. Open image in a new tab. See here. This is an image which is like absolute path, we call it as. Implies complete path you have, the domain, the path, every other information is available in the link itself. Okay, this is what we call it as a absolute path. Okay, now there is something called as relative path. So what is the relative path? I will talk about this in the next class. In the next class, I will show you a practical example where I can have a local copy of the images. How do I point to those guys? And when you are submitting into the Git or when you are pointing the local images, how do you actually get it? I'm going to discuss in the next class. Is that fine, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Guys, I'm done with the discussion for
Hello,
today.
sir.
We will again back on Monday. 1 second, guys. I'm done with the discussion for today, and we are going to meet back on Monday. If you have any questions, please stay back. If you don't have any other questions, you can sign off. Yeah, please go ahead with the question, please.
Sir,
Hello, sir.
Sir, one question.
Go
Sir,
ahead.
if you want to hide a image, what should we do, sir?
So may I know your good name? 9044393.
Shiva, sir.
Okay, Shiva. So Shiva, actually, in order to hide an element, not only the image tag, there is a property, something called as display none property, which we haven't yet discussed. We are going to see that. So display none is the property using which you can hide